We are back with you live here from La Conca, the third round of the WSK Super Master Series. Well, normally we would expect the karts to be placed on the grid, which they will do, but something a little bit different this afternoon. Unfortunately, we had some tragic news during the week. One of our longtime colleagues, Ronnie Getzey, 30 years of age, passed away of sudden illness just 2 days ago. A friend round of applause from all the drivers, mechanics, and all the fans here in the stand here at La Conca. A friend of everyone in the WSK promotion family, always had a smile on his face. It's difficult to keep composed in conditions like this, under these sort of circumstances. But a fitting tribute to our late friend, Ronnie Getzey, with all the karts lined up on the grid. We'll pause for a minute's silence to remember Ronnie Getzey. Ronnie had friends all around the world. Such is the nature of the world karting these days. Anyone who's ever read T-Karting magazine, both the paper version or online, he had no enemies in the world. He was a friend of absolutely everyone. And I know there's a lot of people mourning all around the world for our friend Ronnie Getzey. A fitting tribute here at La Conca from all the KZ2 drivers who will race the final in a few moments' time. It's not so much now that the impact's felt, but it'll be in the weeks, months to come, the races that Ronnie won't be at. We remember the late Ronnie Getzey. Well, as difficult at that as this is, we do have a race ahead of us. The KZ2 final, with the karts now being placed onto the grid. 29 of the fastest kart racing drivers in the world will do battle around this La Conca circuit in a few moments' time. The front row of the grid, we'll see the Finnish driver, Simo Puhakka, for CRG, start from pole position. That's Douglas Lindberg from Sweden, who's been driving really well this weekend. He will start out of position number 9 alongside former World Cup winner Jonathan Tonon. Paolo De Conto from Treviso, fastest qualifier on Friday evening. 2 heat wins. Third in the pre-final, that's Marco Ardigo. Needs no introduction, the factory Tony Kart pilot. Jordan Lennox-Lamb from England in the Birrell Art Cart. Luca Corberi, probably the tallest driver in the field in the Tony Kart. There's Anthony Abbas, finished second at Castelletto di Branduzzo in the number 44 Sodi Kart from France. Iacovacci, he's been really impressive in the Danilo Rossi kart all weekend. Comfortably inside the top 10 despite not qualifying so well. The third round of the WSK Super Master Series here at La Conca Muro Leccese. This man also needs no introduction. He was European champion way back in 1994. Some 21 years ago when some of these drivers were not even born. The five-time world champion David Foray qualified fourth, had an engine issue in heat number 1. From there, he had to fight his way from the back of the grid. We'll start out of grid number 12 in the Maxter-powered CRG. Rosati also in the CRG. Jorge Pescador, the number 5 Praga kart, or George the Fisherman, the young Spaniard from Valencia. That's what his name literally translates into in English. Jorge Pescador in the number 5 Praga. There he is, at the bottom right of your screen. The impressive Alpha kart driver from France, Nicole Gonal, and also Jeremy Iglesias. He is out of grid number 8 here this afternoon as the 3-minute board goes up. CRG versus Tony Kart on the front row of the grid. Patrick Hayek from the Czech Republic in the Praga chassis. Starts out of grid number 7, Perilla engine for Patrick. Stan Pex in the Intrepid. He is alongside Jorge Pescador on the 7th row of the grid. Douglas Lundberg, he's been fantastic all weekend for the Cosmic Racing team. The Swedish driver. Out of 9 alongside Tornano, as we mentioned. Benjamin Tornquist on the 9th row of the grid. Alongside the KSM Racing driver, now owned by Ralf Schumacher from Cologne in Germany. The KSM Racing driver in number 48, the Vortex-powered Tony Kart. Rick Driesen had a big coming together with Arno Kozlinski in the pre-final. We have to go back to the 13th row of the grid to find Rick in the Ricardo kart. Perilla engine. Arno Kozlinski, the 14th row of the grid. Position number 27 for the 2009 World Karting Champion. The number 43 Sodi kart. A lot of work to do this afternoon. If he's going to win it today, he's going to have to pull off the drive of his life. Rick Driesen on the 13th row of the grid. Arno Kozlinski on the second last row of the grid behind Gabriel Durante and Jorrit Pex, the Dutch driver, a non-finisher in the pre-final, will start from stone motherless last. The 1-minute board goes up. The engines will fire into life. In just a few moments' time, Jeremy Iglesias in the Alpha kart from France has been fantastic all weekend. Don't discount him stepping up onto the podium this afternoon. The green flag waves. The karts are pushed into life. These 125cc engines generating close enough to 50 horsepower. We'll speak about their speed during the race. Absolutely frightening how fast they go down the main straight into turn number 1. This is the grid. Puhaka alongside Ardigo. De Conto, Lennox-Lamb, Anthony Abbas, Flavio Camponeschi, Patrick Hayek, Jeremy Iglesias. Douglas Lundberg lines up alongside former World Cup winner Jonathan Tornano. David Foray and Francesco Iacovacci share the 6th row of the grid. Stan Pex and Jorge Pescador, Nicole Gonal, Bartosz Itzkowski. Benjamin Tornquist is alongside Alexander Schmitz, as we mentioned. Andreas Bachmann in the Cosmic Kart alongside Fabrizio Rosati. Luca Corberi alongside the Alpha Karting machine of Paul Fontaine from France. Marijn Kremers in the Birol Art with a lot of work to do. He starts out of the 12th row of the grid alongside Gianni Vigorito. Jugis Tovalicius in the Danilo Rossi kart is alongside Rek Drezen, the Belgian in the Ricardo kart on the 13th row of the grid. Then, as we mentioned, Arno Kozlinski alongside Gabriel Durante and Jorit Pex rounds out this 29 kart field. The third round of the WSK Super Master Series about to get underway for the KZ2 class here at La Conca. The now infamous turn number 6. It is coated with a layer of Vega rubber. Speaking of rubber, Ardigo puts down 2 strips as he accelerates that vortex-powered Tony kart. Heat into those Vega tyres. They will slow up round about now, as you can see. Simo Puhaka will dictate the pace, will pull up on the grid, just like we saw in the Chinese F1 Grand Prix earlier this morning. 4 red lights, when they are extinguished, we will be underway in this 20-lap, 25-kilometre race. Thanks for joining us on WSK.IT live here from La Conca, the third round of the WSK Super Master Series. The KZ2 final about to get underway. The grandstand is filled here in southern Italy. 29 of the world's best kart racing drivers, including these 2 guys on the front row of the grid, Simo Puhaka and Marco Ardigo. Anthony Abbas in the number 44 Sodi kart pulls into position. Number 3 is Jonathan Tonon. Number 5, Jorge Pescador. There's Rick Dries on the right of your screen, the blue and white Ricardo kart. 43 is Kozlinski, pulls over to the left of your screen. On the back row of the grid is the Frenchman, the 2009 world champion, with it all to do here this afternoon. We're set for a start here for the final, the WSK Super Master Series. We are green. Ardigo tries to get the start, but it's going to be Puhaka who leads down into turn 1. The Birol of Lennox Lamb has been looped twice. He's done 2 360s and he's parked in the grass. That's a big shame for the Brit. He's out of the race already as Simo Puhaka leads Marco Ardigo on this opening lap of the race. Paolo De Conto in third. We've had a big crash in turn number 6. We've lost 5 karts. One of them is the Tony kart. Looks as though that might be Luca Corberi involved, the number 7 machine. The yellow flag is out. I don't think we'll go full course yellow, although we might. Andreas Bachmann is one of the karts involved. Indeed, we have actually gone full course yellow. The track is still blocked. There are 4 5 karts involved in this. Bachmann is one of them. Also Gabriel Durante. Luca Corberi in the Tony kart is also out. Rosati. Wow, a sensational start. We've lost 5 drivers. 29 became 24. Jorge Pescador was involved but has managed to reach it. No, he hasn't. Jorge Pescador is out. Another one of these drivers. We've been robbed of some of the top drivers in this race. 6 karts, in fact, involved. Durante, Corberi, Rosati, Bachmann, Alexander Schmitz, the German. Well, that's the end of his dreadful weekend. He won the pre-final at the Margutti Trophy 2 weeks ago. But he'll have 7 days to prepare for the opening round of the European Championships. The race is still on, although it has been neutralised. Double waved yellows. We'll take stock and get the order refreshed. It is Puhaka who does officially lead from Ardigo. Abbas is in 3rd place, the Frenchman in the Sodi kart. Fantastic start by the other Frenchman. Jeremy Iglesias has climbed up into 4th. Are we going to see an Alpha kart on the podium here this afternoon? Well, we'll know in 17 laps time. That's him, Jeremy Iglesias. Going through behind his countryman Abbas, Flavio Campaneschi. He's a new man in 2015. He's very, very determined. He's already won this year. Jonathan Tonon is in 7th. He's behind Douglas Lundberg, who we saw start from grid number 9. He's now in 6th. Unfortunately, we've also lost Paolo De Conto from that earlier incident, so we're down to 19 runners, in fact. Jordan Lennox-Lamb, we saw him spin on the exit of turn number 1. Wow, 29 became 19. We've lost 10 karts, and we've only completed about 3 corners of racing here at La Conca. The KZ2 FINAL. Simo Puhakka from Finland is still your leader. We expect to go green next time around. The race will be on. Puhakka bunches up. Ardigo is right on his rear bumper. Abbas drops down a gear and accelerates hard down the start-finish straight for the 4th time. The race goes green. Simo Puhakka in the CRG leads into turn 1 from Ardigo and Abbas. Kozlinski, it looks like he's making a move into 11th place as he gets past Tornquist. Foray is just ahead of him. Then Nicole Gonal. Jonathan Tonon up into 7th place. Puhakka is your leader. There's Tonon in the Praga kart, number 3. Just at the tail of this leading group, Abbas. Let's see if the Frenchman can win it. He came within 1 place of winning the last round 3 weeks ago in Castelletto di Branduzzo in the Sodi kart. He's on the podium as it stands, but we've still got 15 laps of racing here to go this afternoon. Simo Puhakka, engines and tyres now up to temperature into 6th gear, throws it into turn 1. Ardigo works that steering wheel very hard of that green Tony kart. Abbas, all the while, watches on. Iglesias still driving superbly in 4th spot. Puhakka, Ardigo, Anthony Abbas, Iglesias, Camponeschi, Lundberg. Tonon up into 7th spot. The Belgian for Team Praga kart. The field's starting to spread out just a little bit. The gap between 1st and 2nd is, you can see it on your screen officially, it's 0.13 of a second. We'll see if that's changed as they come across the line. There's Foray, tucked in behind the Danilo Rossi kart of Iacovacci, who himself is trailing Nicole Gonal. Kozlinski into 11th place from 27th on the grid. Rek Dresen is only in 13th spot. Well, the 10 DNFs will help both Dresen and Kozlinski, but their chances of getting onto the podium look pretty remote as Abbas gets that Sodi kart up onto 2 wheels. We spoke about how much grip these Vega tyres are generating around this La Conca circuit. He was 2-wheeling it, old school style. It was like Formula Super A back in the day. He had the Sodi kart up on 2 wheels. It was spectacular. He's lost a little bit of time doing that though, and he knows it because he's tucked his head down behind the steering wheel. Puhakka, can he break Marco Ardigo's stranglehold on the WSK Super Master Series? Remember, Ardigo has won the opening 2 rounds of the series at Adria Karting Raceway at Castelletto di Branduzzo, but currently the world champion sits in 2nd place. Abbas, a lap ago, he bicycled it through this corner right here. This time around a little bit more sedate. He was a lot more cautious. Very, very smooth on the steering wheel for the French driver. Flavio Camponeschi, not so much, smashes that Tony kart over the ripple strip through the centre chicane. There's Abbas. The number 44 Sodi kart, it is number 44 because the Sodi kart factory is based in the 44th Department or state of France. They've definitely got their eye on the World Championship to be held at Le Mans, their home circuit, on September the 10th, 2015. Abbas in 3rd place, so it's a CRG leading a Tony kart, leading a Sodi kart. The Alpha kart, also from France, in 4th place, but he's now coming under attack from Flavio Camponeschi. The 2012 KF World Champion is right on the tail of the Frenchman. They race down into the hairpin to start their 9th lap. There's Camponeschi ahead of Tonon. Douglas Lundberg. Iacovacci is ahead of Foray. Then it's Kozlinski. Dresen we can tell you, is still stuck in 13th spot. He's behind Jorit Pex. Patrick Hayek is the other Praga kart in 11th behind Kozlinski. Francesco Iacovacci in the Danilo Rossi kart, driving superbly. He's in 8th spot in the Danilo Rossi kart, powered by the TM, as Flavio Camponeschi goes through. In the Tony kart, Jonathan Tonon, the former World Cup winner, the so-called lead Praga kart. Well, we lost Jorge Pescador in the other Praga earlier in the race, unfortunately for the driver from Valencia. You know, his wife Anna will be watching on from their home in Spain, but unfortunately Jorge is out. Simo Puhaka. A little bit colder in Helsinki in Finland for the CRG driver than it is this afternoon here in southern Italy. Very, very smooth on the steering wheel. Abbas has managed to pull away quite considerably from his countryman Iglesias, who's still managing to hold off the attack of Flavio Camponeschi. We are past half race distance here at La Conca. Camponeschi closes in on the back of Jeremy Iglesias. Iglesias, Gonal and Fontaine, the three-kart Alpha team from France. Their line astern down the start-finish straight, as we mentioned in the pre-final. Have a guess how fast they're going. 120, 130, 140? No. 151 kilometers an hour down the start-finish straight at La Conca. In karting, people do, let's admit, they get carried away with the speeds they're going. 100 miles an hour maybe. Well, these KZ2 karts, they're not far from it. These are not made up figures. These are off data logging telemetry systems. 151 k's an hour. Simo Puhaka will accelerate to in a few moments. And if Ardigo was close enough to get in the slipstream, you could add 2 or 3 k's an hour to that. Camponeschi has got past the Frenchman Jeremy Iglesias. Iglesias knows he's under attack from Jonathan Tonon. Douglas Lundberg driving superbly. He's in 7th spot from Francesco Iacovacci, Fore Kozlinski, Patrick Hayek, Jorit Pex, Rek Dresen, still stuck down in 13th position. The reigning European champion had a big coming together on the opening lap of the pre-final with Arno Kozlinski. There's Dresen now, the number 6 kart. Puhaka into the hairpin, drops down a few gears, now accelerates hard. 50 horsepower out of that Maxter engine. There's Abbas. He's of course using the TM power aboard the Sodi kart. Every driver here using the Vega tyres, of course, this weekend. The Italian manufacturer, world champion and on the top step of the world karting podium ever since 1980. Fastest lap of the race, Simo Puhaka, 45.6, and now starting to pull out from Marco Ardigo. The gap is 0.9 of a second back to the Italian, the reigning world champion. Let's not forget, he won the KF World Championship at this very circuit in 2008. That was a year after he won his inaugural world title at Marienburg the year earlier. Of course, he is the reigning KZ World Champion, winning that title in Sarno, September of last year. He's in 2nd spot. The gap is now out to 1.1 seconds. This is 3/4 race distance. The CRG leads the Tony kart, leads the Sodi kart, the Tony kart, the Alpha kart of Jeremy Iglesias. Still doing a fantastic job to hold down 5th place. Well, maybe we're seeing a turning of the tide with the Italian manufacturers under attack, with 2 different French manufacturers now in the top 5 with the Sodi kart and the Alpha kart. 1.1 seconds the gap last time round. Marco Ardigo is not one driver to ever concede a race win, but unless he can do something magical in the next 5 laps, he's not going to do it. The gap remains stagnant at 1.1 seconds. Francesco Iacovacci fighting with Douglas Lindberg on the inside of turn 1, the Danilo Rossi kart versus the Cosmic kart. Lundberg in 7th spot now. Iacovacci, 4-8. Kozlinski still rounds out the top 10. 4 laps to go at the end of this one, down through the centre chicane. recently resurfaced. In excess of 120 kilometres an hour just in that little section as they accelerate towards the hairpin before braking hard, turning and onto the start-finish straight. And yes, we'll say it again, it's super impressive. 151 k's an hour. Ardigo in second spot from Brescia in northern Italy. He's been racing for more than 2 decades. He's won titles before at a national and international level. Formerly drove with Birrell, Top Kart and CRG, but it's with the green team that he's found all of his world success. 3 world titles with Tony Kart. He'll be aiming for 4 at Le Mans later in the year. But he'll be scratching his head, to be honest, about this performance of the Finn, Simo Puhaka. CRG are back and in a big way. Let's not forget, we lost Paolo De Conto on the opening lap of the race. He qualified fastest on Friday, won 2 heats. He was super, super quick. Who knows where he would have finished? Not taking anything away from the front 3 drivers as the yellow flag is displayed. We're down to 18 karts now. Marijn Kremers is parked on the side of the track. Unfortunately, the young Dutchman in the Birrell Art is out. That leaves Paul Fontaine in the other Alpha kart, the third of which as our final runner here this afternoon. Abbas on screen. He is 1.1 seconds behind Ardigo, who himself trails our race leader. Well, the gap is now out to 1.4 seconds. He's lost 0.2 of a second to the race leader that time round. Campones to see where the main competitor is. The field spread out enough that I don't think we're going to see a passing move on this final lap. What a drive for Simo Puhaka from Finland. Ardigo again has a look behind him. He's got the second step of the podium, but that's not good enough in the Italians' eyes. It's first or nothing for Marco Ardigo, but he will lead the Super Master Series going into the final round at Sarno in 2 weeks' time. For the final corner coming up for this man from Finland, the checkered flag comes out for the driver of the CRG kart, Simo Puhaka. He wins it! The crowd erupts in the grandstand in front of us. He's absolutely delighted. Marco Ardigo comes home in second spot. Anthony Abbas puts the Sodi kart on the podium for the second race in a row. Flavio Camponeschi, great drive into fourth. Jeremy Iglesias, fantastic. Well done for Jeremy into fifth place ahead of Jonathan Tonon. David Foray, fantastic drive up into seventh spot from grid number 12. Ahead of Jorit Pex, Nicole Gonal and Patrick Hayek rounding out the top 10. Well, at the end of the race, from 29 starters, we only had 13 finishers. Of course, we lost Jordan Lennox Lamb on the opening corner of the race. He's walking back to retrieve his stranded Birrell Art. It's got a fresh engine on it and fresh tyres, but it's going nowhere. Bad luck for Jordan. We will see him in 2 weeks' time for the WSK Super Master Series final in Sarno. Simo Puhaka on the podium at the first round in Adria. Didn't have a good run in the rain in Castelletto, but here at La Conca, he has won for CRG from Finland. Powered by Maxter, the number 26 CRG. Simo Puhaka wins from Ardigo, Anthony Abbas, Camponeschi, Jeremy Iglesias, Tonon, Foray, Pex, Gonal, and Patrick Hayek rounding out the top 10. Well, we will have the podium presentation for you in a few moments. And unusually, Simo Puhaka, for a Finnish driver, showed a lot of emotion coming across the line. We've seen drivers from Finland on the top step of the podium in all facets of world motorsport. Let's just say you wouldn't want to play poker with anybody from Finland. They always keep a straight face. But I think we're going to see a delighted CRG driver, Simo Puhaka, on the top step of the podium in a few moments' time. He will be joined by Marco Ardigo from Italy and the Frenchman, Anthony Abbas. Stay with us on WSK.it. You are watching the third round of the 2015 Super Master Series. We'll be back with you in just a few moments for the podium presentations for KZ2. Stay with us. We're ready for the podium presentations for the KZ2 class. We've got three very exhausted drivers up here about to take the podium. In third place, from France, let's hear it for the Sodi kart driver, Anthony Abbas. In second place, the reigning world champion, Marco Ardigo. And the winner for Team CRG from Finland, Simo Puhaka. The third place trophy being presented to the Frenchman, Anthony Abbas. The second place trophy for Marco Ardigo.
And let's hear it for our winner from Finland for Team CRG, Simo Puhakka. We'll now stand by for the national anthem of Finland. A round of applause for our podium, the KZ2 place getters, Anthony Abbas, Marco Ardigo, and Simo Puhakka. Our podium, KZ2. Stay with us because we do have the 60cc mini podium coming your way in just a few moments' time. As they cross the line is as they will stand on the podium. The 60cc mini podium in just a few moments. Thanks for watching on WSK.IT Live. In third place for the 60cc mini class, let's welcome to the podium Mattia Mulla. Place for Rocco Negro. And our winner, as he did 3 weeks ago in Castelletto, from Norway, Dennis Hauger. Once again, we now stand by for the national anthem of Norway. The 60cc mini podium. Let's hear it for Rocco Alberto Negro, Mattia Mulla, and our winner once again, Dennis Hauger. Well, thanks for joining us here. What a beautiful sight this is in more ways than one. This has been the third round of the WSK Super Master Series. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Sarno for the final round. On behalf of all the team at WSK Promotion, we'll see you then. Arrivederci. Ciao.